Hey, Chef Fat Grams here with another delicious recipe. If you'd like to help me grow, please watch my whole videos, comment, hit that thumbs up, and also subscribe. Now let's mix up these chocolate cream filled cookies. Alright, let's get this mixed up. The first ingredient we will need is 2/3 cup Dutch processed dark cocoa powder. I prefer Ghirardelli's. It has a great flavor and is 0 net carbs. Next, we will use 1 cup erythritol, and Swerve has been my erythritol of choice for the past 3 years. Next, we will need 2 cups almond flour, and I prefer Blue Diamond almond flour because it has a nice fine cut. The next ingredient will be 1 teaspoon baking powder. Then you're going to follow that up with 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Alright, let's get these dry ingredients mixed up. We're going to go ahead and take our mixing head. As you see here, I'm using the wire whisk head. If you would like to use the paddle, that's fine as well. Alright, here's going to be a key moment. Notice as I go ahead and knock down these dry ingredients, the contrast between the almond flour and that cocoa powder. If you like consistency in your recipes, this is a must. And now a little fun fact while I mix this up. Did you know that the original chocolate sandwich cookie was not an Oreo, but was in fact called a Hydrox, and it was created in 1908 and manufactured by the Sunshine Biscuit Company? And I will be sharing another really interesting fact about this cookie later in the video. Alright, now it's time to mix in our wet ingredients. The first thing you will need is 1 teaspoon coffee or espresso dissolved in 1 tablespoon warm water. Next, you will need 1 teaspoon monk fruit, and make sure that this is monk fruit extract. Now you're going to add 4 tablespoons heavy whipping cream. Next, you will need 1 teaspoon vanilla. Now that we got those mixed in, I'm going to go ahead and stop the mixer. Then I'm going to add in my softened butter. This particular recipe already has a real crumbly texture, and you're going to have to work with it as you make your cookies. Softening the butter will aid in pressing them out later in this video. Alright, now that we got the butter in, let's go ahead and get this mixed up, remembering to stop occasionally and knock all the ingredients off the side walls. Now that the ingredients are well incorporated, we're going to go ahead and take off the mixing head, take our spatula, and remove all the ingredients. And once we have done that, you want to go ahead and make sure that you scrape the inside of your bowl and make sure that you have no ingredients stuck to the side. So now, once you've done that, you're going to notice this is the texture you're going to be looking for. A Play-Doh-like consistency. Alright, let's go ahead and get our cookie dough laid out on our parchment paper. Now the pattern I like to use in this is, again, the 4x3. Now when we go ahead and lay this out on our cookie sheet, it will not be in this pattern. We're just going to use this pattern for our pressing sequence. Now, if you've already seen my Choco Keto Crisp recipe, you're going to notice that this particular recipe is a bit drier. So you're going to get more of that crumbling. No need to worry about the crumbles because they will have no effect once you have pressed these cookies out. Alright, now it's time to go ahead and get out our wax paper. You're going to cover this with wax paper. Now I'm using a glass bottom jar. This happens to be a peanut butter jar, but you can use whatever jar you have that has that concaved base. You're going to need that so that it keeps a good consistent height for these cookies. Once you've made your first pass, you're going to go ahead, remove the wax paper, and then once you've done that, reset it, and we're going to come back in. We're going to go ahead and press these an additional time. This second pass on this cookie is not near as important as it was on the Choco Keto Crisp. Now once we've got that pressed the second time, we're going to go ahead and take a rolling pin over it. And it's important that you just lightly roll your rolling pin back and forth, because the goal here is just to take down that high spot in the middle of these cookies. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our wax paper. And it's a good tip to go ahead and remove your wax paper at a 45-degree angle to minimize pulling away of the cookie dough. Using the cookie cutter of your choice, you're going to go ahead and center it on that cookie dough and punch these out. Now if you're lucky, you'll go ahead and get some of these that when you do punch them out, they automatically come out like this, and you can simply put them on your cookie sheet. But if they don't come off this easy, you'll see right here that because of this dough, you can knock the edges right off of them very simply and put them on your cookie sheet. Now with this particular recipe, unlike the Choco Keto Crisp, it's a smaller cookie. Therefore, instead of it being 12 on a cookie sheet, we're going to go ahead and have 24 on a cookie sheet. So depending on how thick you actually make your cookie, you can get 24 to 30 Oreo cookies from this recipe. Now that you're done with these, go ahead and take the excess crumbs, put them back in with your cookie mixture, and go ahead and press out the next 12 cookies. All right, now that these are cut, we're going to go ahead and throw them in the oven at 350 for 6 minutes. Once they are done cooking, go ahead and remove them from the oven. Let them sit on your counter for a minute or two, and then you can go ahead and place them on your cooling rack. All right, now it's time to make our cream filling. What we're going to need here is 1/4 cup lard. Yes, I did say lard. We're not going to use butter, which brings us to our next fun fact. Did you know that Oreos were made with lard up until the mid-1990s? And the lard was replaced with partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. All right, now let's get back to our recipe. We're going to go ahead and whip this lard, and what we're looking for here is for it to double in size and be more airy and have more of a velvet look, kind of like what you get when you cream butter or make a lard icing. All right, after mixing this several times, you should have the consistency like this. Now it's time to go ahead and add your erythritol. You're going to be adding 1 cup powdered erythritol. But at this point, you don't want to put the full cup in. You only want to put in half and set the rest to the side. Now we'll continue to mix this to make sure that our powdered erythritol is well mixed before we add our wet ingredients. Alright, now time for our wet ingredients. The first will be 1 teaspoon monk fruit. Again, that's extract. The next will be 1/4 teaspoon gelatin, and sprinkle that around the edges. And last, you will need 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Now we're going to continue mixing this to assure our ingredients are well incorporated. Alright, now that that's well incorporated, it's time to go ahead and add in our remaining 1/2 cup erythritol. We're going to get that good and mixed up now. And as you see, this is the consistency we are looking for. A consistency just a little thicker than your average icing. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and scrape this out the bowl. And as you can see, it's pretty thick and it is a stubborn mixture. So once you've got it knocked off the walls, go ahead and place it on your wax paper. Or should I say, wrestle with it on your wax paper, because this is a very thick cream. Alright, once you've got that done, you're going to go ahead and take your other piece of wax paper, lay it over it. You're going to begin by pushing outward on this cream, almost like you would do with a dough when you're making a pizza. Now you're going to continue to do this, press this out until you get a good round surface. As you see, I'm kind of working it out almost like you would do your pizza dough again. And once you've got this done, I like to take my cutting board, which is a good flat item, and press it, kind of rotating my wrist as I press down. This is going to give me a very good, even surface. Alright, now that we have this pressed out, we're going to go ahead and place this in the freezer on a flat surface. You want to freeze this for roughly 20 minutes. And now we're going to remove it from the freezer, pull your wax paper, and take your cookie cutter and cut your cream inserts. And now at this point, the cream will be just hard enough for you to go ahead and get these cut. What you will need to do is once you get these cut, you're going to need to place this back in the freezer. This time, the time in the freezer will be roughly 45 minutes to an hour. You want this to go ahead and harden up enough for the next step, which is actually breaking this cream away from the wax paper. So here we go. Basically, you're going to push up under the cream filling and pop it out, resulting in a perfectly cut round cream filling to be inserted between these two delicious chocolate cookies. And there you have it, a keto Oreo that I am sure you will love. Now go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.